Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how to use the average if function in Excel. Alright, so it's like the average function. It's going to average the values that you tell it to. The only difference is you can give it some criteria to where it only averages certain numbers. Okay, so let's just look at, I've got three examples I'm going to show you. So let's look at this first set of data here. Okay, we've got the day of the week, and we'll say this column is how many appliances were sold that day of the week. Okay, so let's say that I'm only interested for now on finding the average number of items sold on Mondays. Okay, all right, so to do that, I'm gonna say, okay, here's the average equals. So I'm gonna put my formula in there. So we're gonna hit equals, okay, and we type average if, and when this pops up, you can double click it and it'll put it in there. You can just finish typing it and put a parenthesis, and it tells you what you need. So the first thing we need the range. Okay, now this range, notice here it says range, and over here it says average range. Well, this range is the criteria range. Okay, so I want it to look for through this range for my criteria. Okay, all right, and then I'm going to hit a comma, and now it asks me for the criteria. Now I only want it to average the number of sales on Mondays. So when we type in Monday, make sure you put it in quotes. So I type in Monday and make sure that's in quotes. Okay, so now I've got my criteria, so it's going to search through this range for Mondays. Okay, and then comma, and now the range I want it to average. Well, that's these numbers here. Okay, that's the numbers I want it to average, and then I close my parentheses. Okay, so what it's going to do here is it's going to search through this for Mondays, and then it's going to pull the values out of here because I have this is my average range. It's going to pull the values of Monday out of here and just average those up, and we hit enter, and it gives me an average of 37. So that's the average number of units sold on Mondays. And you can see that, see, if we highlight just the numbers by Monday. Okay, I got all the Mondays, yeah. And then you see how Excel kind of automatically calculates the average of selected sales. See the 37, and I just have the sales next to Monday selected, and there it is, 37. Okay, all right, so let's look at this. You can also do the same thing with numbers. Okay, so let's say this is the quarter in the year that something was sold, and let's suppose I want to find out when the average sales for the third and fourth quarter. Okay, so one way that I can do that, so I'll hit average, and I want average if, so I'll double click it this time. All right, so now I need the range criteria. I'm sorry, the range. So that's the range that I want it to look for my criteria. I want it to look through this range for my criteria. All right, then I hit comma, and then my criteria. So I want it to average the third and fourth quarter. Okay, so that's actually values that are greater than 2, right? So in quotes, I'm going to tell it I want it to average greater than 2. And yes, if you wanted to, you could do less than 2 or less than 3, that would give you quarters 1 and 2. All right, and then I'll put a comma, and then my average range, which is that. And this is the range I want it to average. So it's going to look through here, and it's going to average these numbers over here that correspond to 3 and 4, because 3 and 4 are the numbers greater than 2. And I hit enter, and I get 54.875. Okay, now let's look at this. So here we have days. Okay, all right, so this would be 0, 1, 2, 3 days. Okay, so let's suppose that I wanted to get the average of all the days but 0. That's the only one I want it to leave out. Okay, so yeah, one thing I could do is I could do like this and say greater than 0. Okay, but what if say I wanted to do every day but 2, but day 2? Well, how would I do that? Well, see, I couldn't do greater than 2 because that would just do the 3. I couldn't do less than 2 because that would do 0 and 1. So I just want to be able to leave out a number. Okay, so let me show you how to do that, and we'll average all the days but 0. So I'm going to do average if. Okay, so the range for my criteria, that's going to be this range because I want it to do everything but 0. All right, then we'll hit comma, and I want it to average everything but 0. So in quotes, we're going to put, that means not equal to 0. Okay, the less than and then greater than sign, that means not equal to 0. Close the quotes, comma, the range I want it to average, which is this one, close, and hit enter, and we get 54.33. And that's the average of all these numbers over here next to a 1, 2, or 3. Everything but the 0. Okay, so that's the average if function. Okay, it's pretty neat. So I hope this video helped. Give me a like, subscribe, share, check out my other videos, and thanks for watching.